When we think about students are at risk of low social participation, we should keep in mind that being different means being less liked. Inclusive education is one of the biggest changes in the school system. All over Europe and nearly all over the world, schools are moving towards inclusive education. And so therefore I think there is a big need for seeing in which points we are struggling, which points we have to foster in the future to make the situation as best as possible, as good as possible for our students. I started to look at the research and attitudes, and then I realized if you ask someone why should we do inclusive education, then they say we should give students with special educational needs the chance that they get into contact with non-disabled students, that they can interact with their peers without having special educational needs. And when you ask them what's about their achievement development, then you can see that they have quite big concerns about it. They have concerns that the student with disabilities didn't get the right resources and the right support in the inclusive education classroom. They're also afraid that, for example, the peers without special educational needs got less attention from the teacher if there are students with special educational needs educated in the same classroom. In my study, for example, I can show that students which have better peer relations are less depressed. I can also show that, for example, the intention to leave school early is quite lower if they have good peer relations in the classroom. The question why students with special educational needs are at a high risk of low social participation is quite a difficult question. It's not easy to say it's this point or the other point, but what we can say and see in the literature is, for example, that it has to do something with the students' behavior. If you look at the social behavior of students with special educational needs, we can often see that they show more aggressive behavior and they have sometimes less social skills. So that can be one reason why they are struggling with their social participation. But there are lots of other reasons. For example, we can also look into the student-teacher interactions. And what we see often in inclusive education is that teachers put a special role on the students with special educational needs. They put them into the spotlight, and they also put their disability into the spotlight. It's the fact if you don't know someone and he is behaving in a different way and you don't know people of the same group, then you can get afraid of it. It's just like stigmatization, and if you get more and more contact with this student, then it reduces your stigmatization. And it can also have to do with the didactics in the school. For example, students with special educational needs are often in separate resource rooms, so they are not able to cooperate that often with their peers without disabilities. If we like to improve the social situation of students with special educational needs, there are different factors we can look at. Firstly, we can look at the students themselves. How we can improve, for example, the social skills of the students with special educational needs. We can also look at the social skills of their peers, because we can see they are more often victimizing the students with special educational needs. But there are lots of other factors. For example, we can look at the teacher. One aspect I focused in my literature was the teacher feedback. If a teacher gives positive feedback to students, then the other can see, hey, the teacher likes me, and so also the others likes the student with special educational needs. And also, for example, the didactics. We can use didactics like cooperative learning, so the students have to do work together. We can force them to have more contact, and especially not only a higher quantity of contact, but especially a higher quality of contact would be a good start point for improving the social situation of students with special educational needs. A student with, for example, a disability sitting in a wheelchair can have the same interests. He can also like football. She can also like listening to Mozart. So there are much more things students have together in common, and it's just only one little piece where everyone differs. Kindness is the language which deaf can hear, and it's a language which the blind can see. So we all need a bit kindness in our life, and it doesn't matter if you have special needs or you don't have special needs. We all have any kinds of special needs. We are all special, so we all need a bit of kindness in our lives.